Hey, Roaring. Ik hoor in turf in Tom's penis.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SEN Live. It's the Schmodown Entertainment Network. I'm Christian Harloff. Thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday, June 10th. If you're watching us live or if you're on the old podcast feed, and a lot of people have been listening to the podcast as of late, I thank you. Thank you for doing that. And Brett, thanks you for doing it. Hey, nice and blurry.
How am I still? Look at that.
Stupid. Welcome back, everybody.
What a jackass.
It's good to be back. It's good to have you back with us here today. We're going to have a fun show. We're going to do a lot of different things. Obviously, go through the news stories of the day, and there are a few of them. There's going to be some AMC and Universal Cold War is thawing.
I see a big one. Upper right-hand corner.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
There's a lot of stuff that we have. We know that California cinemas are opening up this Friday. What the hell are they going to be showing? We don't know. I think I said this already. HBO Max is going to be pulling some of their DC movies in July, which is confusing, but talk about all that. And then today, the big news for you all that we talked about yesterday, if you were with us on the show, is we're going to do our favorite animated movies of all time. The best animated movies, things that resonate to you. So, in order to do that, we are going to streamlabs.com/theschmodown. We've done this before, like these conversations that we've had in the past, and the way it works is it looks exactly. You see how it's sunny? It's always sunny in Philly is putting in his pick right now. The Schmobot will be on throughout the show, where you guys can go ahead and put your suggestions. Now, remember, we're not going to start talking about the animated movies probably until after we cover the news and talk about everything kind of happening in the movie news world, and then we're going to get to all of them. So the way that we're going to do it, though, that we want you to do it, is when you go to streamlabs.com/theschmodown and you put your animated movie, don't just put a list, because we're not going to be able to get to all of them. Give us one of the movies that you want to talk about or you want us to talk about, what it meant to you. Maybe it's a movie that we don't know about that you think we should know about. Why should we know about it? What kind of impact did it have on you? Maybe it's a newer movie that you've never seen before. Maybe it's a movie you have to watch over and over and over again. Maybe it's a movie that you liked the first time and then watched it the second time and loved it. One of the fun things that we've been doing on this show over the last month or two is having these kind of in-depth conversations with you guys, and you have been doing that. And as we read out these comments that you put in here, we're learning a lot about these movies. So go ahead and do that. I'd also like to let everyone know that if you are worried about it, it is no longer the case. I know a lot of people were wondering when I was going to watch it. When I finally would watch it, last night, I watched Gary Busey.
Thank
on the detective on the judge.
I thought I was going to say the thing.
The judge, and it was everything I wanted it to be. It's terrible, but the funny thing about it is, they tell you in the beginning, like, did you watch any of it?
I haven't yet. No.
It tells you in the beginning it's real cases and real people. It's not.
No.
It's now. I'm going to tell you that I don't think it's scripted. I think that they tell these people kind of where to go, and they're clearly actors. But Busey is reacting how Busey would react.
Well, in these shows, I mean, I remember in the beginning when, back in the Wapner days, they would say that these cases have already been, that like they've already gone through a real trial. This is just like, it's almost like a reenactment or another second opinion.
I don't know what it is. It's everything I wanted.
But this is probably
because my wife didn't know. She's like, this isn't real. It's not as fun. I go, it's still ridiculous. Look at it as like sitcom characters talking to Gary Busey. He has no idea what's happening. And it's just, this woman comes in and is talking about, she wants to bury her cat normally, but her husband wants to give it a Viking funeral. And why do you want to do that with the cat? Is where
I believe that people should be talked to how they believe they want to be talked to, even if you don't believe it, because that way they're understanding another circumstance. And the bailiff goes, that's profound. It's just everything I wanted it to be.
Speaking of which, during watching a lot of the Vikings with my wife, I said, all I want you to promise me is one thing, that you give me a Viking funeral.
Yeah,
She's like, I don't know if I can pull that off. I go, oh, really? Really? After
everything, but you know what he does though that is amazing, and because you would assume that Gary Busey would want everyone to have a Viking funeral, but the strangest thing happened. At one point, the guy's like, "I'm gonna, we'll put it out into this pond," and he's, well, I don't know. Do you believe that a sanitarian able to do that with a pond? Are you worried about other people perhaps getting infected? And I was like, whoa, Gary, asking the right question. Everything I wanted it to be. It's not for everyone. There's no chance it's for everyone. Someone tweeted me this morning saying it's terrible, and
well, yeah,
you're not going to get an argument from me there, but it's something that I loved very much. Okay, listen. So that's the beginning of that, and now let's get into some of this news, because there's a lot of different things happening. And the first one is this: HBO Max is pulling multiple DC movies. This is confusing to me. Reading this from darkhorizons.com for the people out there so they know what's happening. Just a few weeks after it launched, Warner Media is set up to pull... Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. What happened there? Because I think Comic Book Movie originally reported on it. So anyway, just a few weeks after it launched, Warner Media is set to pull over a dozen features based on DC Comics off their HBO Max streaming service. According to comicbookmovie.com, many of the titles currently in the DC section will be leaving the service on July 1st, including Wonder Woman, which is probably one of their biggest ones.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, Justice League, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Catwoman, cares, Jonah Hex, who cares, The Losers, good movie, Steel, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Wonder Woman animated feature, and the 4 Burton and Schumacher Batman films. In fact, they're pulling so much, only a few titles currently out there will be left. Aquaman, Shazam, Supergirl, Joker, Green Lantern, HBO's Watchmen, and Doom Patrol. The removal is said to be only temporary. All right. With an HBO Max representative saying, we have a collection of DC films that will rotate on the platform. We have a new batch in July and then another Joker batch coming in August. I mean, they probably have deals kind of set up already in place with other services, so they had to, like, the HBO Max service has been criticized for its interface and lack of 4K and HDR options, but its content has been praised for the most part, bar the DC section, which was derided for being rather thin on titles. Now it seems that was deliberate, and indeed, numerous other high-profile Warner's titles are leaving the service in July, including The Hobbit trilogy, BlacKkKlansman, Tropic Thunder, Us, and more. Yeah, they got to get all those movies back. They definitely have to get them back. There's no doubt about it. But it's when it comes to these legal things.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how does that?
I think the only thing I have to comment about that is be careful how many tabs you open up. It's getting a little laggy, is what I got from Ben Goddard.
There's no tabs. It's probably no. I know.
Or maybe when you have the other window.
It's probably the Zoom thing. Is it still laggy right now?
Let me see. He just said as far as too many sites can make the stream a little laggy. So if you have too many windows, but I know you wanted to show.
Well, yeah, I had something I wanted to show, but I guess I can't. Is it still? Are they still saying it's laggy out there right now?
Let me check.
But don't do that though. Don't do that in the middle of the conversation. Tell me afterwards, because now we're all.
Oh, I had no comment on that. Like you said, it's a legal thing. I don't.
All right. Well, it is a legal thing. So to let people know, it's the same reason why there's a lot of movies that pop in and out of Netflix all the time, and there's still a lot of Disney titles on Netflix. By the way, for example, when we have this is like, I don't know if your daughter watches Sofia the First or ever did watch Sofia the First. So Sofia the First is very popular for kids, right? And I'm looking for it on Disney Plus because my youngest wanted to watch it, and it's gone. And I'm like, where the hell is it? You don't have. How do you not have that? And I'm searching around, and it's nowhere to be found. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so you'd figure it'd be on Disney Plus, but it's not. And this is why, there's deals in place, and it's probably they wanted to get this service launched. Did they rush it? I don't know, maybe. But they wanted to get it launched. They wanted to get people talking about it. They got people talking about it. They have a lot of good movies on it. And they have to abide, I guess, by other deals that were made. So...
Yeah, it's such a whole new with everybody switching around, and like you said, I mean, sometimes Lydia will go like, "Wait, they don't have blah 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 on this anymore."
Right.
I used to watch, and she's like, "I swear it was on this." So the whole HBO Max thing, it's I'm sure there's a lot of confusion.
Well, and speaking of which, they just pulled Gone with the Wind from HBO because you wanted and I read about it.
I think I know why.
Well, yeah, it's the right call to take it off. It's just the movie was made in 1930s, and it is sympathetic towards I think ideology that is not that is certainly today not should have never been promoted, but especially today, and they took it. They're taking it down, and I think what they're doing, from what I read. Excuse me. I just read it early today. I'll read the report itself, but this is what they said. HBO Max has removed 1939 Best Picture. I've never seen it, by the way.
Oh, really?
No, I've never seen it. Best Picture, Gone with the Wind, from its library in the wake of protests over the death of George Floyd. The removal follows in the wake of a Los Angeles Times piece written by 12 Years a Slave screenwriter John Ridley, calling for the film to be taken down for its perpetuation of racial stereotypes and rose-tinted approach to slavery and romanticism of the Confederacy. When adjusted for inflation, Wind still holds the record for being the highest-grossing film of all time.
Wow.
Though initially acclaimed, it wasn't without criticism at the time, and the work has since been looked at less fondly with time, racking up numerous essays from film writers about its troublesome depictions. An HBO Max spokesperson had issued a statement via The Hollywood Reporter, saying the film will eventually return to the platform. Gone with the Wind is a product of its time and depicts some of the ethnic and racial prejudices that have unfortunately been commonplace in American society. These racist depictions were wrong then, and they are wrong today, and we felt that to keep this title up without an explanation and a denouncement of those depictions would be irresponsible. Those depictions are certainly counter to Warner Media's values, so when we return the film to HBO Max, it will return with a discussion of its historical context and a denouncement of those very depictions, but will be presented as it was originally created, because to do so otherwise would be the same as claiming these prejudices never existed. If we are to create a more just, equitable, and inclusive future, we must acknowledge and understand our history. So I think this is a move that they have to do, that they're going to do.
There's a lot out there. I mean, I remember. Wasn't the rumor? And I mean, of course, this person had his own troubles as of late. Bill Cosby bought the rights to The Little Rascals or something, so it could no longer be distributed, or maybe that was that was a false statement, but like I remember seeing some of those as an adult and going, "Oh my God, this is a horribly like Buckwheat is,
right."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I can't because my dad's in jail and stuff like that."
Yeah, it's not. It's so that time and so taking it down, I think, and putting that disclaimer up, to me, I think it's the right move. All right, moving on to the other thing that we were going to talk about here today. California's theaters. They're going to open up this Friday, Brett.
I
know.
But rural,
but what are they going to play?
Right? Not L.A. County.
I think L.A. also. Yeah, so yesterday came the news from California Department of Public Health that cinemas in California could reopen as early as this Friday, June 12th, as COVID-19 lockdown restrictions began to lift. To reopen, though, strict social distancing measures have to remain in place for at least the first 2 weeks, according to a new industry guideline document issued by the state of California. A host of other safety measures also recommended. Initially, cinemas must limit capacity to 25% or no more than 100 people per auditorium, whichever is less. If that goes well, the rule is expected to relax after about 2 weeks, enough time for exhibitors to prepare for Christopher Nolan's Tenet. So maybe Tenet will indeed be released. So how many will actually open, though? Reportedly, the main chains won't be opening due to a lack of product and needed time to prep, including restocking concessions and building up safety supplies. The 25% capacity limit is also seen as unsustainable, with many likely waiting until 50% capacity is allowed. So, yeah, you're right. So it's like the smaller theaters. So when people read that, they say, they go, oh, everything's opening up, and everything's not opening up because, again,
the promenade,
there's nothing for them to show.
Yeah.
There's nothing for them to show. Like, what are they gonna? I mean, the biggest one is when they hopefully, like they said, they get to 50%, and hopefully 50% want to come and see Tenet.
Yeah,
that's the big.
And are they doing the thing with the
mass?
No, the thermometers as they. I mean, is it going to be like the factory workers have to go through a lot of them now? With it's like they take your temperature, and I don't know what stipulations, if any, of they've created for these kind of openings. If there's.
Yeah,
the eating one is the biggest one for me. That is like, okay, yeah, you could go in a theater, wear your mask, sit down, be far away from maybe take it off if they separate it enough. But the eating thing seems that's the toughest one for me, is being around a bunch of people and the guy next to you, sneeze your face.
What if he sneezes, coughs? People
because you don't eat with the mask
and
on.
Sometimes people, they're not doing it on purpose. Sometimes they don't even realize it. They're touching their face, they touch their nose, they cough in their hand, they put it on the chair next to you. I don't know. Look. I had a conversation with someone this morning, and this person is convinced that they're going to find that in California, especially because we got ahead of it, that it's going to go away. It's going to be done by September. We're going to have a vaccine, and this person was asking me like if we wanted to have a barbecue and have all these people. I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not taking. If you feel that that's the case, I hope you're right. I hope you're right, and I'm not gonna say to anybody that they're like, oh, you're an idiot for thinking that. I hope you're right.
Oh God, yeah.
And I'm just not there yet. And I don't think that anybody, no matter if you are there yet or not there yet, until it just seems, I don't know.
I don't think I haven't told you this.
Cool Cat 88 donated $20. I've been seeing a lot of theaters either doing 50 capacity, maybe 25. More drive-in theaters seem to be opening up in Chicago and other places. Animated movie for me, Incredibles The Real Fantastic Four. Cinemark isn't gonna require masks at all / customer.
Well, thank you, Cool Cat. And as you see, Brett, I fixed the text.
Yeah, lays over very nicely.
Yeah, I got a lot of things that are
it's a break.
A lot of things that are working in our favor, Brett Sheridan. And one of those things that I told you about that I've been telling everybody about that works in your favor is ExpressVPN.
Mm-hmm.
You know that it protects your privacy and security online, and there are some things that we've talked about that you should know by now. You can use ExpressVPN to unlock movies and shows that are only available in other countries. You're stuck at home. You're done with all the stuff to watch on Netflix. You want to watch all of Doctor Who? You want to watch as many Doctor Whos as you can during quarantine? ExpressVPN. Binge it. It's simple. You fire it up on the ExpressVPN app. You change the location to the UK. You refresh Netflix. Boom. Done. ExpressVPN hides the IP address and lets you control where you want sites to think that you are located. You can choose from almost 100 different countries. So just think of all the Netflix libraries that you can go through. If you like anime, you go to ExpressVPN to access Japanese Netflix, and there you go. It's not just Netflix. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service, whether it's Hulu, BBC iPlayer, YouTube, whatever it is, you got it. Hundreds of VPNs out there, but the reason to use ExpressVPN to watch shows, it's very fast. No buffering, no lag, and you can stream in HD with no problem whatsoever. It's compatible with every device, phones, media, consoles, smart TVs, whatever. So you can watch what you want on a personal device or on your big screen, wherever you are. If you visit our special link here at expressvpn.com/SEN, you get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. You support this show, watch what you want, and protect yourself with ExpressVPN at expressvpn.com/SEN. The link is in the description of this video, but even if it's not in the link, if you're listening on audio, remember that, expressvpn.com. All right, everybody. So, wanted to kind of move on and talk about. I mean,
so
look,
limited theaters.
Yeah, keep limited theaters is where what we're looking at there. And I think that it's just a bigger thing. It's like, I was talking to another friend last night and said that they wanted to try out. The restaurants were open where they were, so they went. And they said we went, and there's plastic forks and They said that it still felt uncomfortable to them, and I think that's going to be a thing in general. Even if things are getting better, it's still going to feel uncomfortable for a little
Jim
bit.
Sandelin donated $20.
Thank you.
My favorite is heavy metal. Great soundtrack, and South Park did a funny episode about it. Hashtag Baba Booey.
Nice, Papa. Yes. So thank you. By the way, keep the animated movies coming in. Streamlabs.com.
Do you know that one? Or is that
which one? Heavy Metal?
Heavy Metal, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I know that people. You know who loved it? Schnapp.
I bet. Yeah, 100%.
It's and so I love talking about it because I've seen it. You know, I don't know if I necessarily call it an animated film because it wasn't, but the animation in Pink Floyd's The Wall is awesome.
Yes.
But we're going to get into a lot of animated films. Remember, again, streamlabs.com/schmodown. Start putting in your...
Hotel Nerd donated $20. My favorite animated film is a tie between My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and Final Fantasy Advent Children. I still need to see My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. Christian, I doubt you heard of these as they are anime and video game based.
No, but
I thought it was one long name.
Peanut Butter Anus donated $20.
Is in town.
One of my favorite animated movies is Alice in Wonderland. It's so goofy and zany.
Yep.
My aunt showed me it as a kid. Now when I watch it, I take acid or smoke a bowl. That tea party scene is something else.
It's amazing. I watched it recently with my daughter.
Well, speaking of the acid, we should do a separate show like with The Wall and Totoro. Best ones to watch
on substances.
Peanut Butter Anus. I'm telling you, Peanut Butter Anus. I read one of his posts. Finally saw who Peanut Butter Anus was.
Yeah.
Just a very eloquently spoken, great point.
It was great. Well, he always makes good points.
But then Peanut Butter Anus.
That's the best part about it.
I love you,
PBA. So do exactly what those guys are doing. Have those come in here. We're going to have a pretty lengthy discussion about animated movies in a bit here, but I want to cover all this news and stuff that we're, we are getting more movie news. There's no doubt about it. There's more stuff that has been happening. Look, Brett, I know you're very excited about all the Disney stuff coming out. Well, I got one more thing for you to be excited about.
That's the thumbnail. Wonder what it was about.
It's the man, the myth, the legend. How do you not love Lionel Richie? He's getting a jukebox musical. How amazing is that?
Easy like
Cool Cat 88 donated $20. Also, for when studios can film again, they are suggesting studios use CGI for more intimate scenes or just not put them in at all. Also might be using plexiglass when actors audition. Also like the DC animated movies.
Yeah.
Batman Long Night coming soon.
Blake actually had a taped audition, and I didn't tape him for it. I don't think he was right for it. It was a commercial.
But you didn't want him to get it.
Well, it was something where they said, "We'll have
you're
a
a terrible parent.
no, it's like they're good. Well, I am. Yeah. He just beat Zelda in a week, 107 hours of playing.
Yeah.
So that's how my week went.
Yeah.
Anyway, So it was you would film it, and they said we will have a doctor on set and a teacher, and as soon as I heard that, it gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
It was just like,
well, that's what school's going to be like.
Yeah. Oh, that first week of school.
Yeah, dude, how are they going to do school? So, the kids are going to eat in class. What's the difference?
Are you getting emails of surveys of how would you like to do it? Yeah,
which they have to do, and I don't envy their position at all.
Yeah.
These schools, I mean, at all.
Schools for fools.
But let's get to Lionel Richie.
Come on, let's listen to
Lionel Richie is reportedly developing all night long, of course, an original live-action film musical centered around some of the songs of Lionel Richie and slated for a theatrical release. The film is essentially a jukebox musical, not unlike Mamma Mia, which is based on the ABBA songbook, as opposed to a musical biopic a la Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody. Plot specifics are unknown at this time. I am all about this.
100%.
I love Lionel Richie. Richie holds 4 Grammy Awards and has reportedly sold over 100 million records worldwide. My favorite one is there it is. With notable hits including "Hello," "Easy," which is my favorite.
Yes.
3 Times Lady, "Say You Say Me," "Dancing on the Ceiling," "Endless Love," "Sail On," and "All Night Long."
We have the same favorite Lionel Richie song.
Look at us.
If you're in rage traffic, you put "Easy Like Sunday
It's the best.
Morning."
And, when they played it in Baby Driver, I was like, he's doing exactly what I do. That's when I need to chill out. I listen to that song. So that's cool. There's some new stuff coming in.
Sold, right? Is that what?
Yeah, sure. That's the majority of stuff, guys. I mean, I'll refresh this, but those are the.
Do you
big
not want
stories.
to talk about the?
Nah. Those are the big ones. I think those are the big. Unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about, bring it on streamlabs.com/the Schmodown, and we are going to start talking about these animated movies pretty soon. So in order to do that, for those of you who don't know, SEN and the Schmodown Entertainment Network, we are all about talking to you guys, having conversations with you guys, being interactive with the community, and the way that we're able to do that is through Streamlabs and Super Chat. It keeps us going. It allows us to do certain things like the Schmodown and keep people doing shows like Brett Sheridan. And we're going to be I can't wait to have the crew back too, as much as I love this character. I'm looking forward to having everybody back, so that's another thing I wish would happen. But speaking of the Schmodown, and I wanted to show you guys this is pretty awesome. So Brett's going to get the hell out of here for a second. Yeah, bye, Brett. And I'll even get the hell out of here for a second. That's not what I wanted to do.
Don't mess with it. Just leave it how it is.
No, that's the one. That's the one. But this is, so we have
look at this guy.
Yeah, look at this. So we have a match coming out today. A doubleheader. Molly Damon and Adam Witt, and we also have Scrimshaw and Demolanta. But this is a little bit from Molly Damon and Mr. Adam Witt.
What are you doing?
My Star Wars knowledge has always been there, but now it's awake. And I fear what I might become.
You need a study partner. I can't help you.
Why not? I've seen your daily routine. You're not busy.
I came to the Schmodown to win. I intend to keep that belt.
I'd rather not do this right now.
Yeah, me too. You will bring Alex Damon's Star Wars belt to me.
Nice try.
You're not doing this. The effort would kill you.
It's Zoom. It's not that hard.
Can you see my surroundings?
Yes, you have your webcam on.
I can't see yours.
Check the settings, old man.
Why is Harloff connecting us, you and I?
Because he wants me to beat you and move on in the tournament.
Did Sean tell you what happened the day we played?
Why did you JTE twice on your 5-pointer? Give me an honest answer.
I knew it was Dulce Dufine, and I JTE'd to be a jerk.
You're a monster.
Yes, I am a monster. I'm a sarlacc, and I'm hungry. But you're just a little appetizer. You're a Weequay, and I need something more substantial. I need me a Boba Fett. Oh, man. It's time for the belt.
This can't go on forever. I thought this was going somewhere. I was wrong.
That's it. So it was good, right?
I like that.
That was pretty damn good.
I like turn on your camera, you old man. You know,
it's really good. So anyway,
that's every damn Zoom meeting I have. No, in the left, go in the bottom. Put your camera.
Yeah,
put your camera.
It's the same thing. So anyway, so that match, I was pretty excited about that. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
That's gonna that happens today. Streamlabs.com/Schmodown. Anybody want to put in those animated Schmobots or conversation we're about to begin in just a moment here. So to let you know that we have the doubleheader. It's happening today, everybody. It's Molly Damon. First, we're going to have the really anticipated match between Scrimshaw and Demolanta. They go head-to-head at 1:30. It is the Quirky Mercs versus the Finstock Exchange. And then at 3 o'clock, directly after, Usual Suspects, Molly Damon versus, from the dungeon, Adam Witt. We're going to be doing it on Twitch today. 2 back-to-back matches, and it's going to be pretty fun. So we hope you join us. We hope you join us here today.
Come on over.
We're excited about it. It's twitch.tv /the Schmodown. There it is, twitch.tv /the Schmodown. Go ahead and follow us over there today. Okay.
And if you're going to put in your favorite Lionel Richie song, just tell us why it's your favorite and things like
Not just Lionel Richie.
Just don't list a bunch of Lionel Richie. His catalog is immense and very great. So please just keep it to
absolutely. But we would love for you guys to as we get to, we're going to start reading off these. Start our conversation here with the animated. So we hope that when you put in your suggestions here, please. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I know
you moved the.
And no, they still have the. As long as the sound isn't on, and that's fine. But that's just going to let us know when people follow us on Twitch, which is.
Oh,
fine.
it's getting that bing.
It's not doing the bing. It's not doing the noise. It's
just popping.
It's just showing a little text. So when we start the conversation here in a little bit, guys, we're going to stay on the air for as long as you guys are putting in those comments and having conversations about what you want to talk about here today. So let's start the conversation on greatest animated movies, and allow me to begin because I'm going to go with Transformers movie, the 1986, I believe it was, Transformers, which is probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite animated movie of all time. I just love it so very much. I think it's incredible. I think that it's a ballsy movie, and it does things that I don't know. I remember seeing that in the theater and thinking to myself, I can't believe they just killed Optimus Prime.
Tim Sim donated $20. One of my favorites is the most criminally underrated Disney animated film, Atlantis: The Lost Empire. The score, the visuals, and the story were amazing. The reason it didn't get much love was because it wasn't the usual musical animated greats from Disney.
I'd have to check that out. I don't think I've seen that one.
I know about it. I know it well. There's been a lot of questions.
How long ago is that?
I think, is that the one with Matt Damon? I believe it is. I've never seen it, but there's been tons of questions about it in the Showdown. So it's one that has been recommended to me, and I think and it's Disney, right? Yeah, that's what you just said.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So this is starting out. Here's all the comments here too. Real Schmodown facts. Here we go.
Okay.
During his iconic onstage urination at Free for All, Greg Alba actually shit himself.
Francisco Ramirez donated $20. Not necessarily my favorite from Studio Ghibli, but Whisper of the Heart is a feel-good romance that encourages its audience to pursue their dreams, plus gorgeous animation. You can watch it on HBO Max or Netflix UK with ExpressVPN for better quality.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
There's a push for ExpressVPN too.
Yeah, and I'm telling you guys, go check especially for animated movies, what we're talking about here, and you want to catch up on movies like that. Check the link in the description for ExpressVPN for those first 3 months free. Ratson King brings up Arthur Christmas. Says a great story, a great message, a great characters. Dude, have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Peanut Butter Anus
There he
donated
is.
$20.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Christian Wizards 1977 is a great animated fantasy movie. I think you will like it. It's little dark, so I wouldn't let your kids watch it. It's in my top 25 movies of all time.
Never heard of it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
But I want to jump back to Arthur's Christmas real quick.
Yeah.
Arthur's Christmas, when Ellis
Mark _ Jason _ I'll
coming in hot now.
$20. Welcome back. Roaring in the UK, my nephews have gone back to school, and my brother said they are limiting classes to 15 and staggering them so the kids don't mix. Some of my favorite animated films: Osmosis Jones, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Transformers.
Osmosis Jones.
So thank you,
Sweaty
Mark.
Ben Reiner donated $20. Hi gang, happy Wednesday. I'm a 90s kid, so my fave animated movies are Disney Golden Era. Beauty and Beast is my fave animated movie. I love the mixture of CGI and 2D. The characters and songs give me goosebumps come every time. What are your thoughts?
The Golden Era is amazing. The Golden Era is absolutely.
What's that?
Big Macs. Because I was with my,
Oh yeah.
It was freezing outside, and we went, and I don't know how old I was. I must have been 14 or whatever it was, and 13 maybe. I don't remember. And we went and got Big Macs on a really cold day in New York, and watched Beauty and the Beast rented it at Blockbuster, and yeah, it was. It's just a thing that always.
The Masked Schmo donated $20. Hey guys, Toy Story and is one of the films that made me fall in love in movies. I believe my toys were alive. Fantasia 2000 is another favorite. A great homage to original and a great combination of music and animation. Also not as long as the original.
You guys weren't kidding though. When I came yesterday, we were talking about it. We were talking about animation. It's like you forget how passionate people are about animated films, and I think that it's animated films. Also, I've always been a massive fan of animated films, and I've always looked down on the people who look down at people for animations for kids. Animations for kids. It is not. There's so many great.
Just a different way of
telling stories.
Yeah.
It drove me nuts. Like when people would say, "Oh, you watch."
Wayne donated $20. Two of my favorite animation movies are Lion King and The Iron Giant. Lion King is one of the earliest movies I remember watching with my parents, and Iron Giant my dad took to see that movie and me and my dad cried before at the end.
God, Iron Giant.
Yeah, but thank you.
We might have to, as we go through, maybe since they're coming in so fast.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to them. We'll go back to them. I mean, I'm for the Schmobot. I'm gonna let the voice be heard, and we're not gonna just necessarily. And then we'll go back and actually talk about it alone too.
Giant.
I want everybody's voice to be heard today. That's kind of the to talk about the animated films but yeah, man, it's just like to tell people who love animation. There's a reason. If Dave Filoni would have listen to people and say like, "Oh, it's for kids." What do you?
Yeah.
It took him into a whole world, and and because of that, he transferred into what he's able to do now. Did you watch the gallery thing yet? For I'm gonna watch. So the process when they come. on for the Mandalorian and watching him and seeing how it worked is just so amazing.
Is acting up popping audio, and in turn, it's affecting the rest of the audio. Also, can you address my previous bot as it was talked over?
It's popping. I haven't heard that.
That's Mr. Ben.
Is it popping now?
Is it
should
popping?
Should be good now.
Popping.
Hopefully, it should be. Maybe I'll turn it down a little bit. That's why.
But yeah, that's what I was saying. Hotel Nerd. I think as we're going back through and reading it, we can point out ones that you've pointed out. If we didn't get to discuss it.
Yeah, all right, so I guess it does that thing where it pops during the Schmobot.
Schmobot pop.
It's not popping now, is
What's the new thing she's doing?
I guess it pops when the Schmobot speaks. I turned it down. Maybe the levels are...
She was a little loud.
Levels might be big on it, so let's try that.
I can't wait until, the person that said that watched it with their dad and they cry. I mean, I can't wait till my son or daughter tells a story like, "Oh God, I remember watching Toy Story with my dad" or something, and just that memory that they had. That's a great one. I really appreciate it.
Yes. So yeah, we're gonna like we said. So when you put in the Schmobots, we're gonna let the robot read it out, and then we're gonna address everybody's comments. And when we get to yours, we'll address it for sure. Now let's start. We have to start here on the comments here with the real Schmodown facts about Greg Alba apparently shit himself at the free-for-all. A small turd exited out of his pant leg onto the stage, but he managed to kick it into the crowd before anybody realized what happened. Thank you for that. His match is up against the Warfather right now. Tavishka Productions. I was gonna give Alex a compliment until she said that Back to the Future is a cup of mud tea or something close to that, and has not seen any of the Bill and Ted's. We still love you, but praying for your salvation. Oh, she didn't. Yeah, I don't know about that. I did see a list. I think it was on Collider that they were listing the top. Up on the way that they think time travel would work, if you could do it. I also thought that Endgame handled time travel interestingly, which was fun. That wasn't in there. It
was About Time, one of my favorites in there.
Yeah, it was in there.
Yeah,
that was in there. But they had Back to the Future as number one, which I totally understand and I get it. The article wasn't the most accurate time travel movies. It was the best time travel movies, and so with that, I agree. Back to the Future is the best time travel movie. But Arrival, I was looking for and didn't see it in there. Okay, this is review and play. Great episode of Backstage yesterday. I agree with Gucci that forcing managers to drop 7 of their players does feel a little like punishing the managers that did well. Getting all players to agree to stay with you would be a big accomplishment and not fair at all, because you forget this, and this is what Dagnino, who knew, and he and I talked on the phone about this. He was like, yeah, you're right. But he brings it up when I'm not on the show. The difference is this. there's no contracts and big money for the players on the teams. So it is also when you have 3 players that you get to keep, and then you have to build on the rest of it. You have 3 franchise players, and then you move on. He doesn't want to keep all 10 of his players. He wants to keep the 5 or 6 that he doesn't want to let go because he knows that he can keep them all, and it changes up the league and it makes it more exciting. The majority of the managers are not going to be fighting for.
Donated $20.
See if that's better.
I watch Moana every time it is on with my kids. It is a masterpiece. The Rock is a real-life Maui. I would also add Aladdin. Robin Williams as the genie was amazing. They use his voice during the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom, and it brings me to tears.
I'm gonna try this then.
Yeah. Well, now that seemed quiet to me, but I don't know.
Yeah,
for
but they
you
said
guys.
it's choppy, but.
Moana.
No, see,
God.
Mike, that's not the case. Arrival has more of time viewing rather than traditional time travel. But that's not the case when you look at the way that read up on it. When you look at as far as consciousness and the way that it would read up on it. Like I remember that movie came out, and it's way more than just that. It's quieter. I think that there's no sound on it now. There's no sound?
Well, at one point, Ben said mute it, but he said never mind. Good.
It's good now. It's real low and popping. I think to Twitch being linked. That could be it. I don't know why Twitch is still. I took it off and now it's back. So I don't know why Twitch. I have no idea why Twitch is still connected to this. It should not be. I have no idea why Twitch is connected to this. I would see Ben. Can you hit up whoever it might be that can help us out? Sound is great now. It's good. Sounds better. The bot now speaks in digital choppy. Let's see. Well, we'll see what happens when the next one comes out.
That bot.
So let's see.
She needs a talking to.
Yeah, I think it sounds better now. So let's see when the Schmobot comes back. We'll see. We'll do another test. So Hotel Nerd or whoever it is next time when you put it in there, we'll see because I think I might have had a chance. Now this guy's just fucking with us. Now the screen's not black. Okay, let's.
He said sound for everything else is good. It's just the Schmobot. It's not a big deal. It's not overly distracting. He's saying it's just a little choppy.
All right, let's see. So I want to go back to so anyway, so speaking of Gucci and those guys, it just makes it way more interesting, and then otherwise we wouldn't be able to have a draft, and you have to remember that last year the reason for season in 2022, I don't know what it'll be. It could be very different, but the difference is that there weren't a lot of managers, and so all the managers didn't have a fair shot, because there were a lot of new managers who were just coming into it. Now all the managers have a fair shot. You get to keep 3 players. You can recruit whoever you want, and instead of disbanding the whole team. So I love Gucci, and he's one of my best friends, but I don't give a shit what he thinks. I don't give a shit. Yeah, that's the way it is. So
that's a birthday card.
Oh yeah, I love you to death, but I don't give a shit what you think.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, fuckface. Steak sauce. My favorite animated movie is Big Hero 6. It makes you go through every emotion, and it's nonstop fun. It doesn't feel like it gets talked enough about when the new Disney movies are brought up. It's a good movie. I remember seeing that movie in the theater. I was pretty excited when that movie came out because I didn't know enough about it.
Yeah, kids loved it too.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
It's a good one, and it's put in. It's in the inner geekdom. It doesn't come up enough. Commentator nerd, who says, So now we have Inside Out. This is a commentator nerd. Inside Out is my favorite animated movie. I am a psychological nerd, so this movie spoke to me. But I love how beautiful a depiction of child navigating a challenging transition. The movie has some of the best voice acting, and sadness is my favorite. That movie is just it's brilliant.
Is it Bing Bong too? Is that? Oh God,
yeah. It's brilliant.
Take my
heart. It is a brilliant movie, and it's
yeah.
I love it. So yeah, I think that it is because you can relate to it.
Yeah.
Even like when you were a kid and then your kids and understanding like all these different things. Like the beginning scene when she's like little and she's with her dad. Like it's and watching the things go on. I don't know what happened with my daughter because she watched that movie when we saw it. She saw that movie in the theater, and there's a particular scene where their faces start shifting and stuff.
Yeah.
And she freaked out, and we had to leave the screening because it freaked her out.
Maybe,
right?
yeah, a little too.
She was too young at the time she saw it, but then she watched it again when it came out, and she loved it. And she watched it a few times, and then for some other reason, she won't watch it now. She just won't watch that. She watched Zootopia over and over and over again. Now she won't watch it again. I don't know. Maybe it's getting
That's
older.
one where there was a point where I had to give away a surprise in that while the film was happening, whispering to my daughter, because there was a point with I'm sure, yeah, I don't know how to explain, but anyway, there was a point where I'm like, it's a setup. He's doing this for fun. He's not really angry at the guy. But In and Out, yeah, that one, I think that one's a great one also just to watch with your kids too. And it's kind of the Mr. Rogers of film, like it teaches you that it's okay to have these different emotions and how to balance the emotions. It's a great film and a great lesson.
It is. All right, so I did put the volume back up on the Schmobot, so we'll test it out.
She'll be loud and choppy.
Yeah, we'll test it out if it's choppy, just because it's weird because we can hear it just fine.
Yeah.
So like it's not coming in choppy for us, so I think it has to be something to do with Twitch. We'll try to figure it out. Nick Therese, Studio Ghibli is the GOAT of animation studios and should be a wheel slice. But I have to talk to Toro. It was the first movie I ever loved. I'm the younger of two sisters, and my mom was hospitalized when I was young, so it really hit close to home for us. I've never, and sorry, this is Nikki Therese. I've never seen it. I've never seen.
Are there
Totoro.
different ones? Because I remember one called My Neighbor Totoro. I don't know if that was the full name.
I don't know, but this is so far. This is so far. Be like Nikki. This is so far my favorite comment thus far because obviously to her this is very personal. This movie.
Yeah.
This is something that touched her and she was able to watch this movie and relate to this movie and it's near and dear to her. So the fact that she was. The younger of two sisters, and her mom was in the hospital when she was little, and it really she related to it, and it's like maybe even like a comfort to her. I would assume. I don't know Nikki well enough to say that, but anyway, so
it exemplifies that films can actually be healing in ways and helpful with what you're going through.
That's right. It's Always Sunny in Philly. SEN fam, 1996's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's one of Disney's best villains, and it goes woefully underappreciated in the Disney world. Would Team America be considered animated? Because if so, then 100% it has to be on my list. I guess. I mean, South Park certainly is. But,
is live or what?
I don't know,
like claymation or live.
I guess so. Like Shaun the Sheep would count, right? And Wallace and Gromit and all that. That would count.
I'm sure technically we're gonna get
Well, I mean, I bet you if Bibiani had his way, like he would say that most of the Jungle Book live action would be animated, and Lion King is it's computer animated. It just looks it looks live action. I always
it's more like hyper realistic animated than it is.
Yeah, it's like a new thing. I always thought it was kind of live action, but I understand the argument that it's I love Wallace and Gromit. Hunchback of Notre Dame though is a good movie, and it was that transition period though of when like that kind of traditional animation was because Toy Story had just come out a year before.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the new revolution of all the new way that animated films were. It was like one of the last ones out. And then I know Princess and the Frog came out in what, 2009? 2008?
Last ones in terms of like more hand drawn and less.
Yeah, like the Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast.
I could be wrong with this, but I think Lilo and Stitch was one of the last.
That was one of the last ones too. But but Princess and the Frog came out after that. Princess and the Frog I think came out in like 2008 or 9. I think it was around the same time Avatar came out.
Do you like the Lilo and Stitches?
I did.
Oh god.
Yeah, and Princess and the Frog.
Such good ones.
It's Lilo and Stitch are doing a live action.
Really?
On Disney Plus.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, Artemis Fowl is not animated, but it's coming out this Friday. On you gonna watch it with the kids?
I don't know if that. Yeah, I could try. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know anything about it, so I don't know. Yeah.
We were just trying to find things for my daughter to read. and more stuff for her to read. And she read all the Percy Jackson novels and kind of just tore through them. And then so I got her the Artemis Fowl ones, and she didn't catch to them, because apparently what she told me is that that Percy Jackson, at least although the author says they didn't, but they tried to like stick with the actual story and combine everything. Yeah. I don't know if you remember this, but the whole thing with Peter Jackson and Lord of the Rings was he wanted to make 3 separate movies. When he first took it, I forget wherever he took it the first time, they wanted to make one movie. And he was like, I can't make one movie out of these books. Are you crazy? And that's apparently what they did with Artemis Fowl, was they took a lot of these books, all the books, and combined them into the first movie, I think, from what my daughter tells me. But I don't know. I'm going to check it out. We'll check it out this Friday.
The kids, this is their last week of school, and it's like crunch time. So after that, I think we'll be doing more. We haven't done much. There's a lot of, get your thing done, get your a lot of homework and things. But.
Well, before we move on to our next thing as far as homework goes, this should be homework for everybody, because I've been talking about this, and it's Mint Mobile. If you're still using one of the big wireless providers, why? What are you paying for? You got expensive retail stores, you got inflated prices, hidden fees. You're being taken advantage of because everybody knows that you're going to pay it. Mint Mobile provides the same premium network coverage that you're used to, but it's a fraction of the cost because everything's just done online. Mint Mobile saves on retail locations and overhead, and then passes those directly to you. It's one of those companies that it's way ahead of the times. It's been thinking in the future since it started. It makes it easy to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. Think how much money you spend monthly. $15 a month. Every plan comes with unlimited nationwide talk and text. With Mint Mobile, stop paying for unlimited data that you're never going to use. You choose between plans with 3, 8, or 12 gigabytes or 4G LTE data. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch your old wireless bill and start saving with Mint Mobile. The link is in the description of the video. And if you're listening on audio, to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/SENlive. That's mintmobile.com/SENlive. Cut your wireless bill down to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/SENlive. I'm excited to be working with those guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Tongue Punch Fart Box. Good transition there. Favorite animated movie to me is The Incredibles. It blends comedy, action, and heart so well. Mm-hmm. It's suitable for adults and children. Oh, and Elastigirl was hella thick.
Well, what was
hella thick?
What were we talking about? That might have been on the one we did the that you were on.
People will look.
There was some meme of like, let's make all the animated characters have thick butts.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is up there for me too. You like that one, right?
Oh yeah.
My mom and I love it. We rewatched it countless times. Is that on Disney Plus or is that too adult?
No, I think that came up. When people were saying, "Oh, they showed this, but they have that on," so I think it is, because when we were talking about the Daryl Hannah thing and the covering up and we're like, "Well, this one's a little."
But is Fantastic Mr. Fox on Disney Plus? I don't know.
I could look it up. But I think somebody said it was. But
yeah, let me see. So Christian Alante, did you see Roca and Snyder on the LCB trivia show? What's the LCB trivia show? I don't know. They almost lost. Some of my favorite animated movies are Spider-Verse and Mulan, because I always found something inspiring and motivational from them. Both great movies, both inspirational. And obviously Mulan is getting the live action treatment. We have another coming up. We talked about Spider-Verse yesterday, and that to me is my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. And I think that part 2 is one of my most anticipated movies, so it's great suggestions.
Yep. It's on Disney Plus.
It is. Okay, Fantastic Fox.
Yeah.
Good. Again, guys, so don't be intimidated by the Schmobot now with the choppiness. We'll make it work.
She's just been smoking a lot lately.
That's right. Marshall Weeks, favorite animated movie has to be Toy Story, because, you know what it was? Maybe they did put it on. Let's try this. They did. They did. They have been trying it. All right, sorry. So I know what happened then. It's this alert thing. It's a new alert thing. So let's see, because it wasn't choppy yesterday though.
No.
I think they set up stuff for Twitch, and that's what happened. But it's on now, guys. Marshall Week's favorite animated movie has to be Toy Story 3 because I grew up watching those movies, and by the time 3 came out, I was an adult. Seeing the end scene made me tear up because at the time I felt like Andy saying goodbye to the toys. Yeah, I know.
Don't get me started on that one.
Yeah, the third one.
That's when Blake wore his costume.
Oh right, you told me that.
Oh God.
Yeah, and that was what 2011.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, he was still at that just wide-eyed and
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, did I tell you the story? It's like, good night, Blake. I love you. Okay.
Yeah, he's a teenager, man.
Okay.
I know.
Come on,
I know. You gotta get. You gotta get past this. You got what about? I'd say between probably 6 years. He's gonna be 20, and he'll start to be. He'll still be a 20-year-old kid, but at least he'll be like, that's my dad.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anything to do with you right now.
Yeah.
It sucks. Surge Sauce. Hey guys, one of my favorite animated movies of all time is Coco. I love everything from the story, the twist, the Easter eggs, and all the songs. More importantly, being Latino myself, the movie really spoke to me. So I agree with you. Coco was one when I was hesitant about Coco because I didn't know how my daughter was going to respond to it because of the skeletons and stuff. And I remember thinking it was going to be creepy and scary for her. It wasn't. Not anymore. So, or way less than say like that scene in Inside Out. And the music is really good. And I remember seeing it the first time and going, yeah, it's pretty good. And then I watched it a second time because I'd seen the screening first. And then when I took her, and I don't know if it was the enjoyment of watching her understand. And it's one of those movies that gets better and better when you watch it.
I have to watch it.
It's really great.
The kids watched it with their grandparents. As soon as they watch it without me, then it's hard to get them to see something again. And then it was like, do I watch this or do I watch something? So I actually haven't seen. I've heard wonderful things and I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's really good. You should watch it. That definitely is on Disney Plus. Christian Alante. I also recommend checking out some anime films like Your Name. It has some very cool 2D animation and has unique creative plots that combine fantasy, comedy, and drama. This is what I love about these conversations, about learning about these new things. So Your Name, and I guess you can find that on Express VPN if you wanted to. Ryan Chandler, hey, Brett and Christian, I really love the movie Rango. Rango is underrated.
Oh.
Rango is underrated. I can relate to the main character. He has to pretend to be a hero even though he's really not one. That's pretty much what we all have to do in real life. It's also hilarious and beautiful looking.
God,
That's deep.
I forgot about Rango.
Rango's great.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. This is how long Ellis and I have been doing this. I remember when that trailer came out, and he and I were like, "Oh, that's going to be interesting to see." And we remember leaving that movie. If you go back to watch our review, I think we really, really enjoyed it. Dagan, one of my favorites is the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. It's very weird, but it has so many great songs and a perfect movie to take an edible to and enjoy while melting into your couch. I've never seen it, Yellow Submarine.
I have not either.
Yeah. But a lot of people talk about it. I mean, there's no doubt that it's got good music in it.
I've seen clips. That's the other one where,
This is my favorite, one of my favorite names. I show up more than Bonnie. My favorite animated film is still going to have to be Inside Out. It's funny at times, but I was also blown away by the very difficult lesson it was presenting to kids. Things do suck sometimes, and it's okay to be sad. I still cry every time. I'm 22.
And I love it. It's one of those ones that didn't play too hard to the adults and not the kids. Yeah. And there's a fine line a lot of these animated films have to do if they want to make it like a truly a family film.
Shrek did that well.
Oh, yeah.
The first Shrek, and I think even the second one did it really well. But yes, that's exactly right. You have to, because the parents are taking the kids to see the movie, and the parents are hoping to get a fun experience out of it also. And when it's I don't want to say dialed down, but when it is when the adults can't relate to it, and when it's more so just for the kids, and like, well, she liked it. I don't know. It's like I think like some of the Ice Age movies have that.
Yeah.
But movies like Inside Out. And I don't care if you're 20, would she say there's 20, 21, 22, whatever, 22. I don't care if you're 22 or 42. It should affect you because it's an emotional story.
And it didn't have things that were too over kids' heads. No. I hate that when I see something and it's just like, oh, this was all for the adults to not be bored with innuendo and things like that like only an adult would understand, and the kids are just kind of like, I don't get this.
Right. And that's also the better. That's what makes one of those movies too. It can go over their head, but they still, as long as they're still enjoying it.
Yeah.
Cool Cat 88. who put in a Schmobot before. Thank you. Tongue Punch the Fart Box. I also want to shine some light on Pokemon, the first movie. It's really just an extended episode, but who cares? I still love it. And Pikachu trying to revive Ash still gets me right in the feels this day. I've never seen it, but I was also that's only because it was after my time, if you will.
Yeah.
I remember when you and I met each other, that's when that craze was happening.
The Pokemon?
Yeah, that's when it was happening. I remember that. I remember we was talking about it on stage, and like, what the hell is this? But people, I mean, obviously people who grew up with it, like, love it.
I wish I would have bought a few stacks of those cards.
No shit. House Heisenberg. Favorite animated movie to me is WALL-E. It gets a lot of love when talking about best Pixar movies, but it is rarely in discussion of one of the top animated movies of all time. And I find that criminal. Also, Brett, have you started Black Sails yet?
I have not started Black Sails. I'm sorry.
Well, there's your answer.
But I will agree with you on WALL-E. And WALL-E, I would say top 5 for me, WALL-E. That one, to make such an emotional film with hardly any talking and between two robots, I mean, like, that movie was insanely good.
So I wonder if now, because I turned the Zoom thing off, because I know Schmobots were coming in, but now it's not registering. So, Hotel Nerd, I'm sorry. If you tried another one, we'll cross our fingers that it can work. Sir Lord Attenborough, what's up, everyone? Wanted to chime in with my favorite. Studio Ghibli's Princess Mononoke is my favorite animated movie of all time. It's stunning, and it's stunning visually. The story is gripping and also surprisingly dark. The score is also incredible, 5 out of 5. I have to watch these movies. I can't tell you how many. There's so many great animated movies growing up. There are so many great animated movies growing up. Batman Mask of the Phantasm was amazing, and the ending with Joker laughing uncontrollably just messed me up as a kid. But the movie that I love is American Tail. That movie makes me cry.
Jesus.
And I just watched it. Yeah,
I recently...
Did you watch it recently?
Within the last 6 months.
That's recently.
And, like, I'm sitting there, and, like, the kids are kind of watching, and I'm like...
Yeah. Fievel, man. Fievel,
Oh, God,
he'll crush you. He'll crush you. Didn't they do 2 of them? Fievel Goes West was the other one, right?
I don't think that one hit the feels
Nah, it's
as
the
much.
same one. Yeah, because that's another bit. What we were just out there, right?
Jesus Christ!
But that movie, very similar to what we were just talking about. Especially today, I can't even imagine like coming over from another country and trying to and losing your family and being out on your own. It's like that's a really good movie.
And that's a movie I watched with my brother and sister. I mean, it still holds up. It'll still just tongue punch your heart box.
Very nice. Hotel Nerd's first Schmobot, by the way, that he wanted us to talk about was the animated film. It's tied between My Hero Academia, Two Heroes, Dragon Ball, Super Broly, and Final Fantasy Advent Children.
I've heard about My Hero Academia. I don't know it. Yeah,
I still need to see My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. I doubt you've heard of these as they are anime and video game based. I haven't, but again, this is what we're learning about here today on the show. So thank you, Sir Lord Attenborough. I also wanted to show some love to the Animatrix. Animatrix is fantastic. Video dropped out on it, and then it comes back. Let's see. Check.
Oh, it takes us out for a
That's
little
what
bit?
they said. Is there no audio now? Here, let's try this. I got an idea.
Oh, Ben's selling me some.
Hold on, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, that should be good. We should be back. I know.
We've been doing this long perfectly.
No, I know.
Something's bound to happen.
I know what it is, and then we'll do this.
Hey, look at this.
Go ahead, Blurry. Say something.
Hey, what's going on? Blurry?
Yeah, I know.
I think that's your eyes.
No, I'll go watch this. My
Oh, I think he doesn't realize.
He doesn't understand what's going on right now.
Oh.
All right. So we're back there. So there we go. All right. So that should be, hopefully that helps.
Yep.
If not,
Little
it
clicky,
is what
clicky.
it is. Hopefully, if the Schmobot comes in and takes us out again, then I have to turn the Schmobot off. But for now, let's keep trying. Okay. Getting back on over here to the Animatrix question. We were wondering when that was going to come up.
Yeah.
We knew it would. Cool Cat 88 put in a Schmobot. Thank you very much. Jonathan Caro. My favorite animated movie is The Lion King, but two underrated animated films that I have to share are The Prince of Egypt and Anastasia. Prince of Egypt is it's pretty hardcore, man.
Yeah.
My daughter, we tried to show it to her a couple of years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was just a little too intense for her. Because I think it's a good movie, but it's just pretty intense.
And that's a tough one. Like, it's because as a parent, you really can't go and if you've seen something and rewatch it just to make sure it's all right for your child.
Yeah.
You know, I made a few
tough.
mistakes.
Yep. Cody Allen, I watched the Wall when I was about 14 or 15. It's a really creepy way to experience the album through the animation of Gerald Scofford, who later animated the Disney Hercules movie that I loved as a kid.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that. But it makes sense now when you look at the two put together, because I had never seen Hercules all the way through.
I don't think I had either.
I had never seen it, and then my daughter watched it recently because we tried to watch it with her years ago, and again, she was creeped out by Hades, and then like a month ago, I don't know why, but she decided she wanted to watch it, and then she got obsessed with it. Now she's watching even the god-awful Hercules TV show that was on Disney Plus, and she's obsessed with it. So it's and the Pink Floyd, to see that, I didn't know Gerald Scarfe did both of those. It makes sense, though, when you look at side by side. Andrew G., what's up? One of my favorite animated films is Rock and Rule. Very cool film from the 80s with lots of awesome music, kind of like heavy metal, but not an anthology. Check it out. That's a good one. Rock and Rule. Okay. Johnny Big Balls.
Okay.
Oh, look at Johnny Big Balls over here with his big balls. A real big man you are with big balls.
I just want to say you guys are an inspiration. I love you both.
That's Twitch. For some reason, it got reconnected. Twitch from this. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to It's Always Sunny in Philly. From a personal place, I am very much looking forward to getting back to movie theaters and hopefully seeing some new materials on the big screen again. Another animated classic I forgot was The Nightmare Before Christmas. I still love it to this day. Going to be sound weird, but I think my favorite animated movie is Arthur Christmas. Yeah, so we didn't really get to finish that before. It's a really good movie, underrated movie for sure. And if you haven't seen that movie, it's one of the better Christmas movies, no doubt about it. Peter Borain has put in the Schmobot, so did Mark Jason Ali, Sweaty Ben Rayner, Storm Shadow rocks. Akira. I only had a VHS bootleg of it. In VHS, no subtitles. No idea what was happening because I couldn't understand what was going on, but I was captivated anyway from the visuals alone. Once I got to see the re-release in theaters, I loved it even more. Akira, and it's another. I mean,
I had a laser disc of that I gave to a friend of mine.
Oh wow!
That was into,
a laser disc, like the first version of DVD.
Yeah,
the Masked Schmo, who talks about Toy Story. Thank you, and a Schmobot. Pac-Man Dwain also, and Hotel Nerd also, who put in Schmobots. Going back now, and we are going to try to get to everyone else's questions here and comments. Sir Lord Attenborough again, with some states opening up theaters at limited capacity, will ticket prices go up significantly and stay at that price permanently? If so, do you think people would prefer to pay more to see it at home, risking going to theaters? I think raising theater prices at a point where people don't even really want to go to the movies is a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's too much of a.
Do you think they might slip a couple more nickels on the Cokes and things like there might be? That's where they're gonna.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
And if it was up to me, I would say well, I'm gonna eat any of this shit anyway.
Yeah.
Right now. So yeah, some prices could change. I just think I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Just West Side Nerd. Morning, you schmoes. My top favorite animated movies are the following: Looney Bugs Bunny movie, Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown, Lady and the Tramp, the first Ranma film, American Tail, Sweet Balls again. There you go. So I think Lady and the Tramp is another one. That's
why the lady is a tramp.
It's a good movie, that Lady and the Tramp. Watched that recently too. It's so funny you couldn't find that movie anywhere recently, and then it came out on Blu-ray not too long ago, and now it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I remember Lonnie in college was doing an analogy of different films where mothers die and stuff.
Yeah.
And there were certain things that were in the vault that she couldn't get a hold of clips of and things like that. And I can't remember what it was. It might have been Lion King that she couldn't at the time, that was vaulted.
Yeah.
But I had it on Laserdisc, so
a lot of these things now. I think that's why Disney Plus has a lot of these movies that were vaulted that are out there. Better Call Saul, Tim Burton's masterpiece. The Rock is a real life Maui. I would also add Aladdin. I can't believe we even brought up Aladdin yet.
Yeah.
Robin Williams as the genie was amazing. They used his voice during the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom, and it brings me to tears. Absolutely. That's why, it is Moana. First of all, is another very touching movie.
You want to hit me again?
It's a good one, right?
I got video of Lydia. She would lay out a blue blanket, and she had a piece of cardboard, and she had the costume, and she would act out as she watched it. And I have video. I should send it to you. It's the cutest damn
great.
thing. She'd stand up on the couch. I am
my oldest loved that movie. Again,
such a good one.
It's a bummer to me too, because it happens to all of us. There's movies. This happens to all of us, especially with animation, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but there's movies when you're younger that you watch that, especially like really young kids, right? So Paw Patrol was the show that my oldest was obsessed with. She doesn't want to watch Paw Patrol anymore. She's 8 years old. She'll watch it if the youngest is watching it, and it's like you're almost kind of like, come on, watch Paw Patrol, because you want to like capture that.
Yeah.
You want to capture that that moment. You were obsessed with it, and I couldn't stand when you watched it. Now I want you to watch it. But it's like movies are the same way, right? Like a lot of the movies when she's like, I'm too big for that movie now. I don't care. And then when she gets older, she's like, I love that movie when I was a kid. I want to watch that movie again. So it's like you said, like Moana, maybe she's not watching it the way that she used to, but she'll remember the same way that you did. Yeah, when she gets older, she'll watch it. So
I always give Lee's daughter a hard time. I'm like, you still into Meerkat Manor? Because I used to babysit her, and she'd watch it, and she'd look at me like, do you see these?
Right.
I mean, do you see it? I mean, she's like 14 now.
Right,
She's
right.
doesn't want to hear it.
Doesn't want to hear anything about it. Yeah.
Dora's still your thing, or no?
I know it sucks. Nick Kitt. It's crazy that people say Up is overrated after the opening montage. That movie is an incredible story of coping with loss that is affecting all the way through. It's a fun adventure, and all the characters have a deep emotional, deep emotion. Best Pixar movie to me. I have to rewatch it because I am one of those people that felt like it hits you hard in the beginning.
Too much, and then
and then once he goes on the adventure with the dog, it's just not as it wasn't as I guess captivating for me. I've seen the movie once or twice.
Okay.
I need to probably watch it again. I would like to watch it again. My wife can't handle it. She watched the opening scene and she was a mess.
And I saw what was as it's going on. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
please don't.
And the music, the Michael Giacchino music. It's.
And I can see what you're saying, but I don't. It didn't do it for me, but I can see what you're saying because then it kind of goes to a silly place.
Yeah.
But then I think within there's nuggets of like the
I just
memory
need to watch it
and
again. I can't make a definitive.
And they tie it in well at the end, and but that's a big. But I mean, shit. Nemo starts out with everybody getting killed except for Nemo.
And his dad and his dad, right?
Yeah.
His brothers and sisters,
all the brothers and sisters, and the mom.
Yeah, the mom.
That's another one that.
It's a great movie.
Lonnie's.
Nemo, though, dude, I had
to fast forward through that all the time
because there's too much scary shit. Yeah, there's some scary stuff in it. But Nemo, I've told this story before, but when Ellis had never seen it, so they did a re-release of it, and there was a screening for the re-release, and we went, and of course, to no one's surprise, I laughed so hard when Nemo is, or not Nemo, but the hell is the father? What the hell is his name? I'm gonna call him Monty. It's not Monty.
I can probably remember the actor's name before
they're gonna scream at me here. What's the name? It's
Dory and
oh my god, I can't believe they're gonna start Marlin. Thank you, Marlin. Milton.
Ed Brooks or
Marlin. So anyway, Marlin. But Marlin when they're flying through and the thing blows up. The bomb blows up from the thing, and the two pelicans or whatever the fuck they are sitting up there, and the bubble pops, and the other one looks at him and goes, "Nice," and flies off. Marlin, I don't compete anymore, so I don't give a shit. Doc Dredd 2. Best animated film for me is Studio Ghibli's Princess Mononoke. Miyazaki's animation is stellar. The violence contrasted with the themes of the environment. Fight back against man is incredible. Highly, highly recommend. Yeah, I know. It's one that I think that I need to check that also. Here's another one for Heavy Metal. This is from Nap, who says 1981's Heavy Metal is amazing. What kind of awesome messed up stuff you could get your parents to rent for you just because it was animated. It's true. About any movie more than The Rescuers. The Rescuers Down Under, Fernandez Gully, Land Before Time, Wheatback, which is a dinosaur cartoon, and because I've been studying Star Wars, the Clone Wars, which I always liked, and of course the classic Lion King, Aladdin, and Jungle Book. It's good ones. Peanut Butter Anus. Brother Bear is an underrated Disney movie. It has Joaquin Phoenix as the lead voicing a bear, and the soundtrack is by Phil Collins. I always remember the trailer guy from that one. Brother Bear, this summer, when a bear has a brother, it's a bear. It's brown. Brother Bear. Not the Streamlabs, it's the Super Chat?
Yeah.
Oh.
Super Chats are cutting the audio.
Okay. Well, let's see. Hold on. All right, heading back in here too. We got Eric, who talks about the Iron Giants, and Michael Rodingus talking about the Rescuers, Peanut Butter Anus. YA Films talks about the Goofy movie, my favorite animated film from my favorite animated movie from my childhood. It was one of the first animated Disney movies to depict reality, making it incredibly relatable. Watching Goofy just trying to be a good dad to his son was heartwarming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pac-Man Dwain, another one I enjoyed a lot, not favorite, because like Brett, you can't have more than one favorite. But the movie is Coco. I lost my grandfather right before the movie came out, and the song made me cry so bad I can't watch it anymore. I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some movies that you're just always going to relate to that type of stuff. You know, like when I think of like UHF, my brother who passed 2 years ago now, like I'll always remember him being a really little kid, and in UHF, there's a scene I think someone. I think we lost it again. So, restarting the OBS system. Yeah.
Let's see, Ben. Yeah. Mobot.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I think it is, it might be restarting the OBS at this point. But the problem is. Schmobot off for the rest of the show here, guys, because it's just there's something that's happening. So I know it's frustrating. It's not your fault. You guys are doing you guys are crushing it today.
Yeah.
It's been a great conversation, and I'm excited about having more of these conversations. Hopefully tomorrow we can get this figured out. I'm pretty confident that it has to do with Twitch, because once I mentioned Twitch and you guys started putting in, and I started seeing updates on Twitch, and people started following on Twitch, that's when it started getting screwed up.
You know where they film Poldark in Cornwall. That's one of my wife's favorite that I'd always talked about. Cornwall, or Poldark is filmed in Cornwall, and I also know an artist from that part of the UK.
Good for you. Garth McMurray.
Just a little fact.
Oh wait, sorry, Andrew G. It says Disney's Tarzan is tremendous and one of my favorites. Tarzan's another one that my daughter was obsessed with for a while. I never thought Rosie O'Donnell fit that role, though. She plays like the friend, and it was just so blatantly Rosie O'Donnell that I don't mind Rosie O'Donnell, but just it didn't work with that. She played like his best friend, and I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. But again, it's a fucking animated movie. I could just deal with it. Tavishka Productions. Disclaimer. Was supposed to go rough during Roka's stream, was only giving Alex a hard time. She's awesome, and was not me hating on Back to the Future. For animation, Fern Gully, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and Five Goes West. Is the sound on now? I'm going to make sure the sound's on. You guys are good now, right?
Yeah, keep checking to see if we're...
Yeah, I think they're good. Okay. G.L. Stocky, The Fox and the Hound, has always been my favorite animated movie. It's a great one. I like that one, too. Their story of friendship, even when society said they were supposed to be enemies, is a lesson we could all use right now. It's great point.
Oh.
And no one brought up Robin Hood yet, Brett.
I know. What's up, guys?
I know. A follow-up, Corey Cameron, though I haven't seen it in a long time, The Fox and the Hound. Favorite of mine growing up. Seeing best friends become enemies is a tearjerker, and I hope they make a live-action version of the movie. Certainly possible. You know, they are doing Robin Hood. Caleb, Rescuers, Down Under, Five Goes West, Land Before Time are all classics.
Land Before Time, another one. Yeah. Boy, they just love to just hit you right
in the heart.
Oh.
Yeah. Cheryl Dick Pants is back.
Oh, good.
Hey, gang, a little off topic. Can we get a slapping division in the Schmodown? Every wrong or no answer, the competitors get to slap each other.
Or you can get a new question if you get slapped in the face.
Yeah. The Razor Crest, great name. Lion King's my favorite animated. I saw it 7 times in the theater when I was a kid. From the emotional Shakespearean-inspired story, the animation, the cast, and Hans Zimmer's incredible score, there's something majestic about this movie. It is. It's an all-time classic. I believe it was nominated for Best Picture, wasn't it? Oh, no, that was Beauty and the Beast. Andrew G. All Dogs Go to Heaven will always be one of the best to me. I never really watched that one.
I don't. Yeah, and I don't think I could handle it.
No. Johnny Five for life. Where'd Johnny Five go? Johnny's down here somewhere.
Number Johnny Five.
Johnny Five for life. I had him.
Sorry, I did peek into the chat. Garth McMurray thinks we might have skipped over one of his.
We'll be looking in a second. Test for Johnny Five. Maverick, hey guys, I feel the movie doesn't get enough love as Ratatouille. The way food and different flavors are portrayed is so unique. And also, I don't know if you touched on it, but the Pixar theory blew me away when I found out about it. No, I didn't know anything about the Pixar theory, but I will tell you the Ratatouille is underrated. I don't think it's talked about enough. I know that people, when they talk about it, they talk about how great it is, but nobody talks about it enough. See that guy over there talks about I love Wreck-It Ralph because of the love it shows for video games. Also, I love the live action Mulan. Lives up to the hype because the original was so great. Wreck-It Ralph both of them were really good.
I didn't see Wreck-It Ralph. That one.
Either one?
Yeah,
they're good. They're on Disney. You should watch those. You'll definitely enjoy those. Those are good ones. Here you go, Brett. 9 Fingers. Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest. Oodle lolly, little lolly, golly, what a day. Glass Tiger King, Princess Mononoke for me. Nicholas David Gallagher. Hello, gentlemen. I'm headed to the hospital this afternoon to have my tonsils removed, and I'm terrified due to a deep-seated fear of asphyxiation. Any advice on how to recover without spiking my anxiety? My animated film pick will be in another bot. Well, Nicholas, listen. What I will tell you is this is the same thing I tell people who I've talked to about. You got to try to find a place you can get to where you have calm. You got to find a moment in your life where it's calm and peaceful, and try. It is so hard, but you have to look past the what if it all goes wrong fear, and you have to go. I'm good. You have to feel like I'm good, and you have to be able to just close your eyes. It'll be. My wife always says to me, "How come you're not nervous about this?" It's like, because it's not that I don't fear about things. You got to have fear about things, but the problem is if you let that overtake you, it becomes you.
Yeah,
it becomes you, and you should be scared of these things, but you can't let it overtake you. So it's scary. I completely understand, but try to power through, and
maybe they'll give you a little Valium.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what they gave me before my vasectomy.
Perfect. Oh,
made me feel completely fine about it.
Oh, nice. Well, Sweaty Ben Rayner, who brought in the thing about the Lion King. Thank you. Oh, no. He says Lion King is also my second favorite animated. Beautiful story, beautiful art. Voice casting is amazing. So amazing they brought James Earl Jones back for 2019, which I didn't hate, by the way. I didn't hate it either.
Yeah.
It just, I don't disagree with people when they say it was unnecessary. Well, let me, and I think after watching the gallery, though, with Favreau and watching this thing, he talked about it in earlier episodes, but even this, I don't even know if I can say it's unnecessary anymore because of what they accomplished with the tech. Now, people could say, well, maybe you could have done that with a different movie and you didn't have to taint the original. You always have the original. You can always watch the original. Yeah. The movie made, I think, $1 billion or whatever it was, too. So telling the same story, basically shot for shot with a couple of new things, do I understand people's gripes with that? Yeah, sure. I enjoyed watching the movie. I didn't mind it. To me, it was like, oh, well, that's what they would look like if they were really talking. But it was the same movie. It didn't. The story didn't have to be told again that way.
Yeah.
But when you watch what Favreau was able to accomplish and the way that it actually benefited the Mandalorian, I'm glad that it was.
I think of all those, I only saw Jungle Book, and I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It was the live action Jungle Book or animated.
You didn't like the live action?
Yeah,
I loved it
because I think for me that one was about a lot about the music and that was, I don't know, it's tough. And I heard Dumbo was bad.
Dumbo was terrible.
And that then I was like, oh, please don't, because.
But it's different. It's different for me. I love Jungle Book. I loved it.
Yeah.
Dumbo.
I heard Mowgli was better.
But that's not. But it's. So Andy Serkis directed Mowgli.
Yeah.
But it was based more off the actual Kipling than it was the Disney movie.
Okay.
So where the Jungle Book, the Disney movie, obviously was based off the movie, the Mowgli was based off the actual Kipling story, to which I still haven't seen. But anyway, I always said the problem that I have is I like Cinderella, by the way, was great.
Yeah.
Cinderella was great. And I like when they take the movie, the animated movie, and they add to it. They tell essentially the same story, but they add to things that weren't in the animated movie. They add new elements to it. I am one of those, I guess, few people who really like the Beauty and the Beast live action one also. But I like what they did, and they added the stuff.
I did see that one.
I like that one. I like what they did. They added with her mother. They had more story about what happened with her mother. I like that kind of stuff, right? What I don't like is when they take that story and they basically make a sequel. Like Tim Burton made like this ridiculous, weird sequel, really, to Dumbo. They showed kind of the setup in the beginning of the story that you know.
Yeah.
Like Timothy the Mouse isn't even in it, and then the beginning of it starts with the story that you kind of know, and then it just goes into this ridiculous Tim Burton movie, and it stinks. And then he did the same thing with Alice in Wonderland, and he did the same thing with the sequel to Alice in Wonderland and Maleficent. To me, both I couldn't even get past the second Maleficent. I watched 3-4 minutes of it. I couldn't even. I was like, if I watch it with my daughter, maybe, but this is too. I couldn't watch it.
The other thing people liked about the Dumbo one was the Arcade Fire song in it. I don't know which.
I don't remember. I watched it once and never have to watch it ever again. Peanut Butter Anus, who put in the thing about Brother Bear. Nicholas David Gallagher, who talks about Prince of Egypt. The masterclass of hand-drawn characters and backgrounds. Gorgeous early CGI during the parting of the Red Sea, and an all-time great score and soundtrack, and the greatest voice cast ever assembled. A treasure.
Wow.
Well, thank you. Morse Code Z. Jonathan Caro basically put in my favorite movies, but I will add Miyazaki's Castle in the Sky. I mean, he doesn't exactly have a bad one, but it's my favorite. It's got action, it's suspense, heart, it's got it all. There's so many. I have to look at this list.
This is a world that I haven't.
I know.
Yeah.
I got to make a list. Back to the Razor Crest, who said the Schmobot failed during his first message, but I think that you read it. Besides The Lion King, my other favorite is American Tail. Fievel Goes West. James Stewart as Wiley Burp is classic. My brother and I are in our 30s, and I still do The Lazy Eye.
Oh yeah. That one popped up late.
Fievel Goes West.
Reason. No, that one I remember popping up. Yeah.
Fievel Goes West I haven't seen in a while. I know.
Yeah.
Lee Pillmore. Did you guys see The Red Turtle? I first saw it playing in my local pub with no sound. I haven't seen it. Tracked it down and watched properly. So compelling and beautiful. Love you guys from Cornwall in the UK. Thank you, Lee. No, I never saw The Red Turtle. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Dip and Wipe. Oh, look. I've been a big fan of The Iron Giant. Yeah, it's a great one, and Vin Diesel's amazing in that movie. Nicholas David Gallagher also can't forget the underappreciated wonder that is Loving Vincent, the world's first entirely hand-painted film.
Wow.
Every frame moves so vividly. Clint Mansell's score makes me cry every time. I ponder if the next big innovation will be sand animation. These are some Loving Vincent I've heard a lot about, but I've never seen it. But it sounds pretty fascinating. Where's that from Garth? Let me find Garth.
I don't know.
Garth says Fantasia 1940 is one of my favorites. I saw it at a drive-in with my dad when I was 5. Great mix of animation and classical musical. When I got home, I drew pictures of my favorite part of the movie, the demon Chernbuck. My religious mom tore them up. Oh, ooh. Man, that stinks. Oh, that stinks. I'm sorry that happened to you. But Fantasia, Ellis talks shit about Fantasia all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he doesn't like it, but yeah, it's different.
It's
different.
There's parts that I enjoy. That it's a lot going on, and I don't.
It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, if you get inspired, you get inspired.
But
man.
the whole thing where he's messing up and the water's filling up and stuff. I like that scene. I think that's interesting.
Okay, let's see. I want to get to Cody Allen. If only Disney and Sony played nice, we could get a real Spider-Gwen movie with a cracked mirror version of the Marvel Universe where the Punisher is a dirty cop and Daredevil is Kingpin like the comics, but is a bit of a pipe dream. Yeah, I mean, we're lucky that they were able to fix out their differences with the Spider-Man franchise in general. So yeah, to see them get along too much, there's always hoping, but optimism is optimism. Pac-Man Dwain, last one. Shrek's a really good movie. It'll always have a special place in my heart. When my little brother was born, was one of the first movies I showed him. So we have something to bond to. And there's a big age difference between us, but I always remember that. It's a great movie, Shrek. I might have seen that with you in the theater back in the day. I remember seeing that at Century City.
Yeah, prior to Kid.
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't know. I think, wasn't it originally supposed to be Chris Farley?
Yes,
it was, right?
I believe they actually did
some stuff with him,
and he died, and then
is that what happened?
Yeah,
and then because
could be wrong, but I think
he wasn't Scottish. He didn't have that Scottish accent because Mike Myers has always loved that Scottish accent, even when he did it in How I Married an Axe Murderer. But he came in, and I remember wanting to do that. I read about this, that he wanted to do it, and it worked. I mean, Shrek's an iconic animated character.
And I think I didn't, I mean, I've seen it. There's been three
or four,
but I know that I've seen the first three. I mean, the 2 and 3 aren't great, but it was like the kids loved it because they just love Shrek.
You don't like the first two? I think they're great.
Oh, I can't remember. I know I love the first one, but I know that
Eddie Murphy as Donkey is just it's one of the best animated performances ever. It's because that to me fit the way that he took that personality, and it just I didn't hear, even though it's so clearly Eddie Murphy, I didn't hear Eddie Murphy. I just saw the character of Donkey, because it's a great. He's everybody has that friend that is just so like heart of gold, but you're just like, shut up. But you don't want him to leave. You don't want him to be around. No. Like, yeah, I love the guy, but just shut up. But the heart is there. So I love that.
Lydia got into Shrek the Musical.
Really?
And watched that over and over and over again. I know every song from that. It's a really good musical, but that was a little obsessive and was driving Blake crazy for a while.
Yeah.
But check that out on your internets. No, I don't know where it is.
Okay, so yeah, now by the way, so because of Super Chat, the Super Chat will be fine now. Yeah, Super Chat will be, if you put a Super Chat in, it won't screw it up. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Nate Drake on Super Chat says, "Hey, Christian, I'm now watching Rebels, and I really love it. Who would you say is your favorite character in the show, and which character would you like to see turn up in Mando?" Well, let me just say my favorite character is Kanan out of the show. I'd like to see Ahsoka show up. I'd like to see Sabine show up. I think they both would make sense showing up. I'll say that. So that's something. Also in Super Chat, Chris 1529 brings up 1973 Robin Hood animated, which we've talked about for sure. Marley Diaz DeVale. I rediscovered Pocahontas as a 16-year-old, and I was in tears. I love the representation as an indigenous person myself. Okay. That is another movie that we haven't talked about enough here today. It's a really good movie, and the music in that movie is awesome.
And I don't remember it, and I was wondering if it was I'm glad that it was a good representation, because I didn't see it, and I was like, oh, is this going to be one that we might remove because it was a bad representation?
No.
So I didn't think so. They did it right.
I thought so, yeah. Joseph Grimaldi, Transformers, 1986, is amazing. Still the best Transformers movie to this day. You are singing my song. Batman Under the Red Hood from 2010 is underrated sleeper pick. Great story and action. Yeah, Transformers 86 is definitely the best Transformers movie ever made. There's no doubt about it. So the next one here, did we have Nicholas David Gallagher. Last one before surgery starts. My surgeon is listening to the live stream. Brave little toaster. Don Bluth's bleak yet honest allergy for trying to find God when you believe he's abandoned. Faith in the eyes of the young moves me every single time. I've never seen Brave Little Toaster.
I've heard of it.
For sure. But you know what's another one? Speaking of Don Bluth, is Secret of Nim.
Yeah.
Secret of Nim was one of my favorite animated movies ever as a kid. Where can I find that?
I had it on Laserdisc, but I think I sold it at a garage.
It's so good. It's so good. I love that movie.
They've got to have it.
They got to have it somewhere. Nicodemus. I don't know. I'd like to try to watch that with my daughter at this point at 8. I mean, she's watching Lord of the Rings now, and the only thing that creeped her out the other day was right before bed. So it was in Return of the King. Was when they? Do you remember the movie Return of the King?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
when they have to call on the ghosts at the end.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah.
That freaked her out a little bit. Of course. Yeah, and so we stopped watching. I think she'll be all right once we if you start with that. But if it's like the last, she's like, one more scene before I go to sleep, and that was the last scene. It's like that's not the scene you want to see.
I think a few years ago we tried to watch Secret of Nim with the kids, and it's a little adultish. I don't think it's.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah, I don't think it's a one to watch with the youngins.
Yeah, but I don't know if an 8-year-old could watch it.
No.
And then Nicholas. Good luck to you, my man. Stay strong, and you'll be fine.
That's who's getting the surgery?
Yeah, you'll be fine. Better Call Saul. The Cowboy Bebop movie is a great anime film with impressive animated hand-to-hand fights and space battles. The film and show are about a crew of space bounty hunters. If you like The Mandalorian, you love the space western that is Cowboy Bebop. I've heard nothing but great things about Cowboy Bebop.
Rimjob Steve says,
Hey, guys, just wanted to say that Brett is a big inspiration to me. Thank you for all the laughs. Also, there's an entire Reddit page dedicated to posts with heartfelt messages from people with raunchy usernames. That's really good. Jonathan, my daughter's favorite is Lilo and Stitch, and I think that makes me love it even more. Yeah, for sure. Chapstick cereal. I know in the stop-motion style, everyone loves The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I don't really like it. I'm going to go with Kubo. Kubo's a great movie, but Kubo is scary for kids.
Yeah.
Kubo is a scary movie for kids. I remember my wife saying, I don't know if my oldest is going to be able to handle this. And I said, I don't know. So we started watching. Once these witches came in, she didn't want nothing to do with it.
That's a tough thing to skate on, because then you get into where kids don't, like my son doesn't want to go to a movie like that. So you know, if it's animated, he goes, oh, that's kiddish or whatever. So if you go too old with it and too adultish, you're going to lose a lot of that audience.
Yep. Chapstick cereal. I know in the stop. Oh, we did that one already. Okay. So Hotel Nerd. Christian, can you do a subscriber plug for Hotel Nerd Network? There you go. Struggling a bit to get the name out due to world events. Can you give us a boost? Much appreciated. Well, Hotel Nerd's been a big supporter. You should check him out for sure. And yeah, it's been tough right now, man. Yeah. It's tough for me because this is what we're trying to do on this show, and I'm sure you're trying to do on your show in general, is that if we want to try to kick back, have some conversations, talk to one another, and see, if we can make each other feel good for 2 hours. We're able to.
Yeah.
Brian Renenson. My favorite animated movie has always been Lion King. I watched it all the time as a kid, and I still watch it now, and it's so much fun. Incredibles and Big Hero 6 are some of my favorites, too. These are good ones.
Yes,
It's Always Sunny in Philly. Hey, I'm not sure if I missed these two, but The Prince of Egypt. I remember having a big reflection on my own religion when it came out, and it still was a very good film. Also, very underrated to me was Paranorman. It's a great movie. Great score, by the way, by John Bryan. Really love the visuals and story of this film. I couldn't agree with you more that Paranorman is very underrated. Alpha 76. I was obsessed with the 78 version of Lord of the Rings when I was a kid. Transformers, the movie, was played to death growing up as well. Yeah, I think we grew up in the same household. Suge Knight, 323. Wait, has no one said two of the best animated movies of all time? Beavis and Butthead Do America and South Park. South Park is a great one. Beavis and Butthead Do America was one of my first mature movies I saw in a theater as a freshman. Also, Page Master and Cool World are classics. Cool World's kind of a mix in between it. I guess if you would also call, I guess because Cool World or Roger Rabbit would be around the same thing, right? Jonathan. My daughter's favorite is Lilo and Stitch. Oh, yeah, makes me love so much more. And Jim Payne. Joining late, so I don't know if these have been mentioned, but Wizards, that has been mentioned. Heavy Metal has been mentioned. Both are more mature, but both are great for us teens of the 80s. Those are ones that have been, and it's amazing. This is another reason why I love doing these lists so much, because you see how many people say a lot of the same ones, but what the difference is of why and how they meant.
Hit them.
Yeah. So now I'm going to try to tear into some of these super chats too, because you guys did put in a lot of super chats today, and I want to make sure that we get those. Ohap Cap said, I saw Solo again after watching Fleabag, and it made L3, who was already a good character, an amazing one. Thanks, guys.
I think you did that one.
I did that one yesterday, but it's registered for... What? Oh, no, that was yesterday. Sorry. Today's... I apologize. Patricia Metz. My grandmother just yelled out, we don't know shit. Good for her. Patricia Metz also says, a Goofy movie. Been in love with Goofy since age 3. People love that movie. My kids love that movie. Doc McClintock. American P.O.P. Underrated. Soundtrack is a killer. Never seen that one. Samari Tesfaye. My two favorite animations of all time is Akira and Princess Mononoke. Both brilliantly made, thought-provoking, and full of badass action. Yeah, I'm going to have to get off my ass and finally watch Princess Mononoke. Samari also follows it up, says the sexiest animation movie for me was 1992's Cool World, with Kim Basinger voicing Holly. Whoa, baby. And a live-action Brad Pitt as Detective Frank Harris, and it was PG-13. I know. Another one is Fritz the Cat.
Oh, Fritz the cat.
Ken Fagan. Anastasia is really underrated in animated movie. Yeah, Tom Sang-Persate. Kubo and the Two Strings is great. It is a great movie. Ohap Cap. I've also seen The Wall on plenty of acid. Hell of a time. Yeah. Epsilon Audio. Hey, guys, I love the show and always support SEN. How has no one mentioned the Iron Giant? Oh, a lot of people mentioned the Iron Giant. Big Hero 6, Wreck-It Ralph, Goofy Movie, Jungle Book. Schmodown. Oh, no, we've talked about that one in a great depth. Adopted Asian. Top 3 Disney for me would be Black Cauldron. I just watched that again recently. Wow. So did my daughter. Atlantis, Treasure Planet. Just showed the latter to my niece who's 6, and she loved them. That's awesome. I love reintroducing like old movies that could get lost, like because if it's not for you, if you have these movies that like the Black Cauldron, right? Yeah. My daughter would probably never find that movie, and to be able to show her that is something I'm pretty excited about. Chris 1529 just put in a donation. Thank you very much. Thank you again to Marley who put in that Shrobot and the super chat. And I think that's everything on super chat. Let's double check. Blue Iris. Hey Christian, I know you love my old videos. When I blew the guy on stage, you loved it. That wasn't a video. That wasn't a video.
That was IRL.
That was live action. That was live action, Blue. Oof.
Super cheery.
It was brutal. Let's see if I don't know what happened. God, I can't. He's puking. Marloff is puking.
Do you remember a movie about animals? I don't know what it might be called. I'm trying to look it up, but animals doing an Olympics. And I remember being very emotional. It was like an Olympic thing with all animals animated. If anybody can think of it, but I remember being choked up by several scenes of it. It was very emotional about somebody trying to win, and it was I don't know what it's called. Sure. It was
The Great Mouse Detective?
No, it was animals in Olympics.
Animals in Olympics. Yeah. Maybe that's the name of the movie.
I looked it up, and it wasn't. It's not.
Robin Hood, no. Takata, no. Is that people are trying? The Curse of the Were-Rabbit?
No. It was
Animal Olympics?
Animal Olympics, maybe.
That's what they're saying. They're calling it Animal Olympics.
Right. I don't know what.
That's what they're saying. I mean, that makes sense. Sounds like it.
But one word.
That's what they said. Gabriel Lopez. One of my favorite animated movies going to see in the theaters growing up was He-Man and She-Ra, Secret of the Sword movie. I remember my mother taking me and taking my my He-Man action figure. Thank you.
Gilda Radner did a voice in the
there you go.
Olympics.
Did you ever hear Gilda Radner's song "Let's Talk Dirty to the Animals"?
No.
You never heard that song? I'm gonna play it. I don't care. If we have to cut it out later, we'll cut it out. I have to play this for you guys if you've never heard this before.
Billy Crystal.
You've never heard this before?
If you play it, I'll probably go, oh yeah.
Hold on. This is Gilda Radner. Gilda Radner. Here
Gilda Radner.
I'm going to make the Argentine chimichurri steak. Very excited to see what
we're going to learn about chimichurris.
That is not
skip ad.
It's amazing.
Oh, God bless her.
It's really great. It's a great song. It's a great song. That's the great Gilda Radner. Let's Talk Dirty to the Animals.
So that was live in New York. I'll have to check out that whole album.
Yeah, see, a lot of people didn't know what it was. It's called, check it out. It's called, it's Gilda Radner, the legendary Gilda Radner. Probably one of my favorite comedians. And she, it's called Let's Talk Dirty to the Animals. So check it out. All right, let's finish let's finish up some more of these super chats. Okay. So we also have this is Gabriel Lopez who brought up He-Man and Secret of the Sword. It's a great movie, and I was a big He-Man fan, and there was a lot of history there, and I don't know if that was the one that I thought that showed a lot more, because they started to tease that Skeletor had a lot more heart than we knew as he developed. Hotel Nerd Network. We need an animated Power Rangers film and an animated Ghostbusters film. We need a Halo film. So not to do animated instead of live action. Maybe so. Maybe it'd be a good animated one to do. Blue Iris. We did. Not another Blue Iris. No more Blue Iris, please. Mm-hmm. So I think that's let's go back to Streamlabs and we'll call it a day here. The Masked Schmo, Fantasia 2000 is another one of my favorites. Great homage to the original. It also has a combination of music and animation. Mm-hmm. Michael Rhett Dingus. Some more favorites of mine when I was little was Rock-a-Doodle-Doo, Fox and the Hound, and Ricky Tikki Taffy.
Rock-a-Doodle.
Good one, Ricky Tikki Taffy. It's a good one. All right, listen.
What about Happy Feet?
Happy Feet? Happy Feet's a good one, yeah. So listen, I wanted to thank you guys here for joining us on the show. Thank you to Ben Goddard for
always keeping us on check.
Yes, and helpful for sure. And we're gonna try to get a we're gonna try to figure out what's going on with that Twitch thing, because I don't know how that happened again, but we'll figure that out and then restart the system, and hopefully all will be good. So thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll it was a fun show, so maybe we'll do another topic or something either tomorrow, or get on over to the SEN group. And if you didn't know already, Sound's going to be out here for just a moment. All right, so today, starting at 1:30, Dimolanta versus Scrimshaw, Damon versus Witt. So make sure you check that out today. Come on over to Twitch. Please, if you haven't been listening on audio, please go ahead and do that. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. It helps tremendously. It really helps the show out. If you're not able to send the donation, and you can't do you're not a Patreon, you're part of Patreon, it's super helpful to either throw a like on this video or go on over to the podcast feed and subscribe over there today and leave a comment, please. But wanted to thank you guys again for joining us on the show. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll hit some new.